So is this iron, the Callaway Apex Pro, the perfect iron, and am I in love with these irons? So when I say am I in love with them, is it love at first sight? They are incredible looking. I can't actually wait to hit these. I've not hit them at all yet. I've warmed up with something else. But Callaway have got a new range of Apex irons, and I would normally have done all the irons together, but I think this one looks so good that it deserves its own video. So I'm going to hit some shots on the range, then I'm going to go on to the simulator and hit some shots into the green, see how these perform. I'm going to have a close-up look at the head, talk some tech, and we're going to see, does it tick the boxes on looks, feel, and performance? And if it does, is this the perfect iron? So before we get into the main part of the video, guys, if you're new down to my channel, welcome down to Ali Taylor Golf. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're enjoying the video today and you don't currently subscribe, I'd love you to just take a split second to click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. But for now, let's find out if Callaway have made the perfect iron. Right, so when you look at the back of this golf club, this for me is probably the best looking club I've ever seen. So it looks very like a blade, but we know it's not. We know it's hollow. It's actually got the most tungsten in an Apex Pro iron that Callaway have ever put in there. So really trying to redistribute that weight around the head. When we look at the top line, it's maybe not going to be as thin as the actual MB, but still a really thin top line. And when we put it down behind the golf ball, yes, the head definitely looks a little bit bigger than a blade, but still looks incredibly good. Look at the sole, it's a very thin sole. So again, for me, not really maybe aimed at a player who's going to take big divots and get very, very steep on it, but it is just all in all an absolutely gorgeous looking iron. To say I fell in love with it might be a little bit too strong, but I do think that that is maybe the best looking iron I have ever seen. And when we had a close-up look at the head, you know, it is ram-packed full of technology. But what I love about it is it doesn't look like it's ram-packed full. So artificial intelligence has been used with the flash face. So again, we're talking about kind of maximizing ball speeds and performance across the face. Obviously being hollow gives that extra forgiveness anyway. But like I said, you know, I love the look of that. I think it looks an absolutely incredible golf club. And I think the shelf appeal, when golfers walk into shops and see that, the first thing I think they'll want to do is pick it up and look at it. So, I mean, it's ticking all the boxes for me on tech and looks. So I'm going to hit some shots now. Just down the range, I'm going to look at kind of how far I'm hitting it. Then we're going to kind of dial into a few numbers and look at, for a 33° 7 iron, so certainly with something with Pro stamped on it, it's certainly not as lofted as some equipment out there, but it's definitely nowhere near some of the out-and-out distance irons that are on the market. Gorgeous looking club, still going to be very, very forgiving. So my thing is, could this be the perfect iron? I mean, I think it's got to tick all the perfect boxes for me. So tech, ram full of tech, I love that. I mean, I'm playing blades 7-iron down, so I know it's a little bit hypocritical to say I want lots of tech, but I like the fact that maybe I might even be changing. But let's hit some shots. Let's look at how far these go. I would expect around about 165 carry with these. And then I'm going to hit some shots into a green and just kind of see how the ball stops into the green and shots like that. But first off, before I hit any shots, and I haven't hit any with this, I've warmed up with something else. And the one I warmed up with is actually the one that I think is going to be its direct competitor for this year. And I'll discuss that a little bit later on in the video. But Callaway Apex Pro 21. Love the looks. Okay, so let's hit a few shots and give you an idea on feel. That one was a little bit thin. And carry maybe a little bit back of where I expected at 152. But for a thin, that actually felt pretty solid. Again, just pick that one a little bit. 155. Now, obviously, Callaway talking about kind of forged, so the key is with anything hollow, we're looking to try and get kind of that soft feel of a pure forged blade, but with the forgiveness of more of a cavity. And certainly those first two, for ones that weren't great, actually felt very soft. That was a better strike. That felt awesome. 169, so that was a long way. So it'll be interesting when I kind of dive into a few more of the numbers. At 33 degrees, I'd still expect this to spin a reasonable amount. I'm using my Titleist Pro V1X, so the new one. So that was good though. I like the look, like the feel. I felt a little bit out the toe, maybe a couple of yards back, but still just turning over a little bit. Okay, let's go a couple more, just hitting these down the range. And it feels fast off the face. It really does feel quick for something 33 degrees loft. And I'll be honest, that feels, it's a funny one, isn't it? 'Cause I think it still feels pretty soft, but it's that dilemma, isn't it? Because maybe something that feels really quick maybe isn't as soft. I don't know. I think that's more of a personal call when you're trying equipment and fitting, but so far those look pretty good. I love that. Ooh, now that is an interesting one. Now that, wow. Something's wrong there. Something's wrong. I'm going to work through those in a second, but let's just go one more because that was off the charts number-wise. That one maybe again, just a little bit towards the toe. Right, so the couple of thin ones, maybe a little bit shorter, but kind of as I would expect. Then everything else was round about that kind of 165 carry, but there was that really weird one that carried 195. So I know in here, golf balls, done how needed, it's dry. I did have a flood in here the other day, but it's not on the mats, the golf ball's not wet, and the club is clean and dry. So let's look at those numbers, and then I'll hit some shots into a green and see how the Apex Pro performs. Right, so if we look at some averages, 88 mile an hour club head speed, which is kind of bang on where I am, 7 iron, ball speed just under 117, smash factor of 1.33, so definitely that'll be a little bit lower because of the first two. Launch angle around about 18, 5.3 spin, so a little bit lower than I maybe expected, but still lots of height at 92 feet, carry at 167, total at 177. Now here's that freaky one. So I had 88 mile an hour club speed. I had ball speed at 123, smash at 1.39, launch at 17.8, but spin rate at only 3,124. And that's been measured accurately. So that is phenomenally low. Still good height and carry at 195. And to be fair, if I look at the strike there, absolutely ripped it. So no issue with strike there. So that's a strange one. Right, so I'm on the TrackMan simulator now. So there was one shot there, wasn't there, on those range ones that, I don't know, would I say that TrackMan didn't quite pick it? It shows in italics if not. So that would be that little concern for me, that is there just that odd one that that just goes that little bit further. I'd maybe have to do a little bit more testing on that. Remember, everything indoor is very, very controlled, so it's not like being on the course where there might be some moisture, might be some grass in the way, so it's very controlled in here. But on the simulator, I'm on the 17th hole, PGA National. I've got 176 to the flag. Now it's playing just a little bit downhill, so it's going to play a touch shorter than that. But I'm going to aim maybe just slightly more middle of the green. Because we definitely saw my little stock one as that baby draw. So let's hit a few stock ones first of all and see how it stops if I can hit the green. So that fell a tiny bit towards the toe. But yeah, baby, we will take that. Now that is a nice start, isn't it? It wasn't flushed, but like we saw on the range, even those ones that are a little off centre perform. 170 carry, slightly elevated tee, so that's why we're going to maybe see a touch more carry, but 6-1 spin and 34-yard peak height. Now that is just a tiny bit thin. Oh, and that was a yard off being really good. So not a big drop off on the distance, 167 carry, but you can see obviously on this shot, has to be good to get over that water. So a couple more stock ones. Might be a little left. It's a longer carry over there, go. Clung on. Bit Freddie Couples style in the Masters at 91. And again, yeah, so spin a little bit lower with me turning it over and just de-lofting it a little bit. But all in all, some really good numbers there. So one more stock one. Again, felt great. Is it going to get there? Hang on. Wet. Again, carry was good. Spin rate was good, so just me there pulling that one a little bit. Now, if this is going to be the perfect iron though, it's not just about looks, forgiveness. I think for me it's about workability as well. So I'm going to try and hit a couple of little fades with this. Now we'll all know that this isn't my strongest shot. Actually just fading a touch. Was a yard off being on the green. Definitely shaped a touch. Yeah, so added a bit of loft, a bit more spin, just a fraction shorter. Just got a little cutty one again. I do like the way that feels. Really like the way that feels. But getting wet, so that's not perfect. Right, so can definitely work it. That's not a problem with those. So before, I really like how high I was hitting it. Let's see if I can just kind of flight one down a little bit with these. 33 degrees, so like I said at the start, not super strong by any means. Definitely flatter. Is it going to get there? Oh, maybe that just becomes my shot. So definitely not hitting that as high. Stop me spinning the ball as much. Yeah, so less loft, 5-3 spin, and we can see that height at 26 yards. So not super low. See if I can get one in even lower than that. Don't think that's going to carry. It did. 18-yard peak height. So, you know, it is ticking a lot of boxes, real lot of boxes. That one there, okay, I've de-lofted it, so it's taken that spin right down again. It's the only thing that I've seen that one I hit in range mode that was really low spin. So let's just hit one more stock one in here. If this goes in, these are going in the bag. Ooh. Gonna need a good bounce if it's gonna go in. No, it's in, but it's in the water. So have Callaway made, with Apex Pro, the perfect iron. So is that perfect? I don't know, it's very close. I mean, it is as good looking, almost as good looking as anything I've seen. I think from the back, it is the most amazing club I've seen. But yeah, it may be just a little bit long blade if I'm being ultra picky, but that is being very, very picky. So it looks probably 9.5 out of 10. Feel wise, does feel good. I know it's not all forged, it is hollow, but I do think they've done a really great job on how that looks and feels. Performance wise, pretty much on the numbers that I would be looking to see with a 7-iron at that loft. My one little worry was that one shot that I got really low spin. Now, it might have just been a one-off shot. You know, Trackman's not perfect. None of the launch monitors are perfect. So it might have been a one-off shot. It might mean that I'd need to just put that through its paces a little bit more, get a bigger array of shots and just see if any more of those came up, because that would be an issue. You know, other manufacturers have made some great irons that has definitely been an issue with that really low spinning one from time to time. I wouldn't expect to see it from a club like that if I'm being honest. But all in all, if you're a decent ball striker who doesn't want just the big chunky head, that just might tick all the boxes for you. And Apex Pro should be something that you should be trying this year and potentially putting in your bag for 2021 and going forward. Right, so like I said, I think that's a great club. Now, it'll be popular and it'll sell a lot. The one I'm really interested that I think it'll be a direct competitor for is the TaylorMade P770. Now comment below and let me know if you want to see a head-to-head between those two, because I think they're both very good looking, good feel, great performing, and if I was thinking of putting something new in my bag that's maybe a little more forgiving than I'm currently using, both of those would be in the running. But comment below, let me know. If enough people comment, I'll do a head-to-head on those two. But for today, that's a great club. I would definitely consider putting that in my bag. Would I go through the bag with those 4 down to wedge? Maybe. Might blend those with the MBs and the shorter stuff. But all in all, really good clubs. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it. Comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you've enjoyed the video and you don't currently subscribe, I'd love you to hit the button below. Remember to ring the notification bell and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with you guys soon. Stay in contact.